This is going to be my Chapter 6 summary of adaptations to aerobic exercise. Cardiovascular responses. Cardiac output is the amount of blood pumped by the heart in liters per minute. We get cardiac output by stroke volume and heart rate. Stroke volume, there's an increase in end-diastolic volume, and at the start of exercise, sympathetic stimulation increases the stroke volume. Heart rate, it increases linearly with increase in intensity. Oxygen uptake increases during acute bout of aerobic exercise. Blood pressure, we have systolic pressure, which is blood that is forcefully ejected during ventricular contraction, and then we have diastolic, which is pressure exerted when no blood is being forcefully ejected through vessels. Blood flow blood flow goes to the active muscles, and that increases during exercise, and then there's a decrease in blood flow to organs that are not really used during exercise. Respiratory responses, there's an increase in oxygen delivered, and it provides levels of alveolar gas. Diffusing capacities of O2 and CO2 increase during exercise. Most oxygen in the blood is carried by hemoglobin. Cardiovascular increases in max cardiac output, stroke volume, fiber capillary density. Ventilatory adaptations are specific to a type of exercise, and then there's an increase in tidal volume and breathing frequency. Neural efficiency is increased, fatigue of contractile mechanisms is delayed. Muscular aerobic endurance training, increased in aerobic capacity in trained muscle. Growth and strength, ligaments and cartilage, is related to the intensity of exercise, especially weight training. Endocrine, aerobic exercise increases hormonal circulation. Adaptations to aerobic endurance training. The most important adaptation is the increase in maximal oxygen uptake, and an important factor is intensity for the improvement of aerobic exercise. Altitude changes occur at elevation greater than 3,900 feet. Hyperventilation, increased pulmonary ventilation. Breathing O2 rich gas at the rest or post-exercise could positively impact performance. Smoking could impair exercise performance. Blood doping is a practice of boosting the number of red blood cells in the bloodstream to enhance performance, although this is unethical and it could lead to serious health risks. Genetics dictate the magnitude of training adaptation. Adults' max aerobic power decreases with age, and the physiological response to training is similar in men and women. Overtraining results in extreme fatigue, illness, or injury. Cardiovascular responses, there's high volume of training affect heart rate. Biochemical. Prolonged overtraining decreases muscle glycogen. High volume training increases creatine kinase levels, which is what we know when muscle damage occurs, there's an increase in creatine kinase. Endocrine, decreased testosterone, cortisol ratio, and then there's secretion of GH, growth hormone, and there's also changes in catecholamines. Strategies for prevention for overtraining, recovery. Recovery is important to prevent overtraining injuries. Detraining is the inactivity the athlete loses training adaptations once they have not been consistent in training. And that is all for my summary.